Good day. Sorry I can't be there. I mentioned it yesterday. So today there's kind of two things that we need to be able to do. The first one is look at the unit converting app that I asked you to download. Any one of them will work. This set of notes says they'll show you the Android app. I have an iPhone, so there's not really a whole lot to show. If you don't have a phone, you can use a computer. If you type unit conversion on Google, everything will work. So I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on that at the moment, but basically you can have apps, programs that will do any of the unit conversions that we've talked about and even more into all sorts of different units. There's all sorts of them out there. I have a handful on my phone, but we can go from distances, millimeters to inch, ounces of fluid to milliliters. So you can try to go through some of these. I would save this for the end of class because the supply teacher, she'll probably show this, and I'm going to go through the next set of stuff, which is just calculating area, which hopefully won't take a whole lot of time. So you should have some time at the end of class to play with your phone or tablet or whatever to try to get some of these. I will post answers to them later because I don't know any of these without pulling out the app on my phone. So the next thing that we kind of have to cover in this unit, because it's at the end, is area. Area is how big something is over a surface, like the floor of the classroom. Each of the tiles on the floor are about 1 square foot. So we could count all of those and figure out how many square feet the room is. Why would you want to know how many square feet a room has? Well, if you were trying to buy flooring, whether it be tile or laminate or hardwood or carpet, you need to know square footage and area. If you are building a house, you need to know how many square feet of plywood to buy. They have all sorts of different units. Metric, we have meters squared, centimeters squared. Imperial, you can have square inches, isn't super common, square feet, square yards. We're going to go through kind of some of these shapes, and then we're going to look at some formulas. When you need time to write things down, ask the supply to pause the video, and I'm sure they can do that. So the first thing is determine the area in square units of each figure on the grid. Count. So figure number 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks, so it's 8 units squared. You have to have units at the end of everything. It's kind of super important. Number 2, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to there. We can cut it into pieces. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The shapes get all sorts of different. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, that's going to keep popping up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for figure 4. Now, the ones down here that have diagonals, if I look at this particular, that is a square unit. If I go along the diagonal, this shaded space down here would be a half a square unit. So I'm going to count all of the full ones, and then we're going to look at the half ones and go from there. So the full blocks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 full units squared, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 halves. So 4 halves is 2. So 12 units squared plus 2 units squared. So figure 5 is 14 square units. I'm not going to go through the full calculation for all of these, but perhaps we can pause the video and give you a couple minutes to try to do some of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus, well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 plus 2 units squared. This is 12 square units. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full ones. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's plus 6. Halves are 3. So this is 11 square units. So we can count things. Some of the questions that will be in your practice is going to be this sort of things. I don't think we would get into anything less than a half a unit squared because that just gets to be kind of tricky. So when it comes to area formulas, there's formulas for the area of a whole bunch of shapes. A square is a four-sided figure with right angles, and all sides are the same. So the side, you square the side length. A rectangle, the area is the product of the width and the length. A parallelogram, which is a shifted rectangle, area is base times height. A trapezoid, which has these two, it's slanted parts. We have the top length and the bottom length, so we add those two up, multiply by a half, and then multiply by the height. Triangle is a half the base times the height. Sometimes you will see for a triangle this formula, base times height divided by 2. They're fundamentally the same. And the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So we're going to go through a couple of examples on the next page. We don't have to write any of these formulas down. Just like other formulas, you probably will get these on a formula sheet for your exam. So let's try some. Calculating area, we have to determine what shape we have. Once we know, we have to pick a formula. So we're going to go through some of these. And then after that, you get some practice. And that will be today. So what shape do we have here? Well, we have a parallelogram. So the formula from the other page, area of a parallelogram, is the base times the height. Well, which is the base? The base is going to be 10 millimeters. Which one of these is the height? Is it the 5, which is the length of that diagonal piece, or the 3? Well, the height is how tall something is, so it's that 3 millimeters. So when we multiply these together, area equals 10 times 3 is 30 millimeters squared. If you do not have the units in an area calculation, you will lose some marks. Number 2 is a square, so if this side is 4 meters, how long are all of the sides? 4 meters. So the area of a square, then I'd head over there, the formula was a squared. In this case, little a is 4 squared. So the area, 4, don't forget your units, Mr. McKay, 4 meters squared. So 4 meters squared is 16 meters squared is the area of that particular square. So we have A, we have B, we have H. The formula for the area of a parallelogram, or a trapezoid, sorry, half of A plus B times H. Well, put your units in. Oops. Equals a half. 34 and 42 is 76. 30 and 40 are 70, yeah, 76 centimeters times 29 centimeters. A half as a decimal is 0.5. So I'm going to multiply 0.5 times 76 times 29 equals, and this trapezoid has an area of 1,102 square centimeters. Oh, change color. Area of a circle is pi. Pi is a button on your calculator. It's the ratio of the diameter to the circumference of a circle. It's an irrational number that keeps going on forever. Pi times the radius squared. Pi, simply, if we don't have a button on our calculator, we can use 3.14. We can use the button on your calculator, but we need to figure out, this has a line all the way across. So this tells me the diameter is 4 centimeters. The radius is the distance from the center to one of the edges. Well, if the diameter the whole way across is 4, the radius in this case is 2 centimeters. So this is pi times 2. Whoops. Sometimes I get sloppy with units. Squared. 2 squared is 4. Pull up our calculator here. Does my calculator have pi? So pi times 2 squared equals 12.566. Let's call that 12.6 centimeters squared. After any one of these, if you're taking some time, we can pause it so we can write everything down. So a triangle, we have the base of 12.5 meters, which as a decimal is 12.5 meters. The height is 6.25 or 6.25 meters. So the area of a triangle is a half the base times the height. A half, the base is 12.5 meters. The height, my cursor sometimes disappears. Pull out our handy dandy calculator again, 0.5 times 12.5 times 6.25 will give us 39.1 meters squared. And lastly, the area of a rectangle is length times width. 2.25, 4.75. So the area is the length, 4.75 millimeters, times the width, 2.25 millimeters. 4.75 times 2.25 gives us 10.6875 or 10.7 millimeters squared. So that's how we calculate area. Hopefully you've seen some of this before. I think some of it should be done in middle school. So once you've got all of these examples copied down, the last 2 pages of these notes our practice. Find the area of each shape using the formula given in your notes. Display your answer in a different unit than the ones used in the question. See question 1 in the example. So we're going to go back and take a look at that. Be careful in converting units. The area for apt, convert it directly. This one, if you have 9 square centimeters, the area in square inches with the app, because you make sure you're set to the area function, would be 1.395 square inches. So we can go through each of those. And there's some trapezoids and parallelograms, and it tells you H and B. And we will go over these on Tuesday when you're done with the area ones. You can go back and, well, hey, there's an area question right there, square meters and square yards. We'll check all of these over. So hopefully this made sense, wasn't too quick, but make sure we pause the video as we go if you need time. And if you have questions, we'll go over this on Tuesday. You can check to see if there's answers posted. And have a great weekend. Bye.